All right, good morning, everyone. Over the holiday, my son participated in a short Christmas pageant at our church in Grand Rapids. Nathan, who is 2, was invited to be a sheep in a pageant where the bigger kids acted out scenes from the Nativity. The day before the big production, we took Nathan to the dress rehearsal, and after seeing his would-be costume, he immediately made it known, as 2-year-olds do, that he really wasn't in the mood to be a sheep. He wanted to go play instead. We didn't push him, and he spent much of the rehearsal running around showing marginal interest in the events happening around him. On Christmas Eve, we took him to church and again tried to build him up to this idea of being a sheep in the pageant, to see if he wanted to participate with the other kids. He saw the others in their costumes and seemed like he was in the mood to give it a go. As I sat down, my wife took him to the room where the kids were getting ready, and she soon returned without him. "How did it go?" I asked. "Well, he's wearing a costume," she said, "but he doesn't want to be a sheep. He decided that he would rather be a monkey." "A Christmas monkey?" I replied, baffled that such a costume was even present for the pageant. "Yes," she concluded, and the monkey costume was the only one he was interested in wearing. We laughed, we let it be, and we were intrigued to see where it would all go. The scene began, and there it all was, a manger, baby Jesus, Mary, the wise men, the shepherds, a flock of sheep, and our son, the Christmas monkey. Proud parents we were, and watching my son, I couldn't help but think about a message that was shared with me countless times by my father growing up. "Will," he would say, "you need to dare to be different. Dare to be different." My father was a teacher, and I have memories of being a child and visiting his classroom, seeing a poster on his wall with that message on it, "Dare to be different." I think we've all heard this phrase in one form or another at some point in our journeys, and I find it to be a uniquely powerful message. Though difficult to embrace as a child, I love the intentionality behind Dare to be Different. This idea of accepting a personal challenge to cultivate your identity and to be resolute in being yourself. It asks us to be diverse people and to not shy away from the things that make us special. And time and again growing up, I was reminded by my father that in moments of uncertainty and self-doubt, angst and frustration, hesitation and indecision, I need to dare to be different. Time is a funny thing, and now I'm watching my own son grow. And I often wonder, what type of worldly wisdom will I share with him as he finds his way? What could I possibly say that will make an impact on him? Inevitably, I'll probably tell him that he needs to dare to be different. But the older that I get, the more that I realize that dare to be different is an incomplete thought. It's missing an important element in its call for self-actualization. Because sadly, daring to be different is an idea that is laced with privilege. For while there are some differences that are readily accepted by our world, others far too often make people targets for discrimination and for alienation. We may want you to be yourself, but please don't be too different. We can't handle that. Without understanding and accepting the differences of others, daring to be different can be a dangerous thing. And so, if you choose, dare to be different, but also dare to listen to others, and dare to embrace their differences. What if we accepted that challenge, internalized and put forth as much effort into working with the differences of others as we do to being ourselves? What would our world look like then? What if we all woke up in the morning and said to ourselves, "Today, I'm going to listen to others. I'm going to accept that other people are different than I am, and that other people are allowed to be themselves without my judgment"? Wouldn't that be a greater achievement than daring to be different? It sounds ambitious, but I wonder if it's actually a feasible idea. And the truth is, I don't know. But I do know this, that in 1967, a year before he was killed, Dr. King wrote, "Where do we go from here? Community or chaos?" The book was written after the Voting Rights Act, after the marches in Selma and Montgomery, after he won the Nobel Peace Prize, and after he'd been arrested nearly 30 times. And there's a concept in the book which has stuck with me for many years. In the chapter entitled, "Where do we go from here?" King writes, With Selma and the Voting Rights Act, one phase of development in the Civil Rights Revolution came to an end. A new phase opened, but few observers realized it or were prepared for its implications. For the vast majority of white Americans, the past decade, the first phase, had been a struggle to treat the Negro with a sense of decency, not of equality. White America was ready to demand that the Negro should be spared the lash brutality and coarse degradation, but it had never truly been committed to helping him out of poverty, exploitation, and all other forms of discrimination. It is understandable that the white community should fear the outbreak of riots. Yet, the average white person also has a responsibility. He has to resist the impulse to seize upon the rioter as the exclusive villain. He has to rise up with indignation against his own, to demand that the necessary reforms be instituted to protect him. Responsibility is an amazing challenge, but we need to embrace it. Because the world that we live in can be a difficult one, and the problems that we are facing will not dissipate with another policy, or another movement, or even another election. The only way that our world can change is when we as individuals accept responsibility for what is in it. The world needs us to be who we are, just as it needed Dr. King and so many others to be who they were. Our world needs us to confront status quos, to fight injustice, and to dare to be different from generations past. That is our challenge. But as we do so, we need to put equal, if not more effort, into having the courage to listen to others, and to dare to embrace things that may be different from what we know. It is hard, and as the days pass, I don't see it getting any easier. But differences, like Christmas monkeys, are out there. And our task is learning how to make space for them in our lives as we continue in our own efforts to dare to be different. Thank you.